Hey everyone, Vero here, and today I have another review. We have the Parkzone Mosquito Mk VI. This is the Bind and Fly Basic Package. They also offer a plug-and-play package. We're going to go through, show you the very easy assembly of this airplane, and then later on we've got the flight review for you, and I gotta say I'm very, very pleased with this airplane. So first of all, they offer it in two packages. They offer it in a plug-and-play, which basically means the airframe with all the electronics. The only thing you need is a transmitter, a 3-cell 2200 milliamp battery, receiver, and charger. The Bind and Fly Basic, of course, is almost the same as the plug-and-play. You will need a transmitter, a 3-cell 2200, and a charger. So it's basically the exact same as a plug-and-play, except it comes with the receiver instead of without it. Both packages are very, very nice, mostly because the hardware inside this airplane is very universal with all the other Parkzone airframes, such as the Corsair, the P-47, the two most popular warbirds that Parkzone has to offer. The same receiver, mostly the same hardware, is all the same. So let's get off this. This airplane I really do enjoy, mostly because it is a twin engine and it still uses the 3-cell 2200. You can use a variety of different batteries. I personally decided to go with the ThunderPower 3-cell 2250. This gives it an incredible amount of power without adding a whole lot of weight. So I would definitely recommend this battery, but you can also choose any battery you want. E-Flight offers some and Parkzone offers some, but I would definitely recommend it. Out of the box, you have the airframe itself. The wings, everything is apart. The elevator, the horizontal stabilizers are not on. The wings, of course, are not on. So the assembly is very easy. The wings slide together, and then two screws go straight in through the wings to the bottom. Horizontal stabilizer is a little different, but it's the same as their P-47 and the Corsair. There actually is a carbon fiber tube inside the horizontal stabilizer, which I have not seen before on the other Parkzone warbirds. So there's actually a carbon fiber tube that goes through here, and you just slide it in. It's friction fit, and then you just put a little slab of clear tape on the top and on the bottom, and it is pretty solid. It's it's in there. The motors are very small. They are 370 size electric outrunners. The ESCs are 18 amp ESCs, and they're running through a Y cable, so you only need one battery, which is very nice. As far as the airframe itself, the only thing I'm not a huge fan of is the battery placement. It's a little difficult to get to, but it's not horrible. It's on the bottom here, and there's a little compartment right here, and it just lifts up and your battery goes in there. And I have to tell you, the 3-cell 2200 is a tight fit, so be very cautious of how you put it in there, and I would not recommend getting a larger battery than a 2300. Even for weight, I would actually recommend a 1900 or 2000. To go a little smaller, you can adjust the CG a little bit if you want to mount, let's say, a GoPro on it. You can adjust the center of gravity, and it would be great. The plugs, of course, that come with it are the blue EC3s. However, I'm changing them to power poles. Those are just my connectors of choice. Moving on to the back, to the next hatch with the next receiver. Here we go. So as you can see down here, we have all the electronics. The receiver is a 6-channel receiver, so you can do your optional flaps, you can do your optional retracts, and we'll talk about that in a minute. Everything is pretty much wide. Even with the twin engines are wide into the throttle port. Now if you want to add differential, you can opt to not do the flaps or the retracts, or put a larger receiver in there, and then you can add differential by plugging the throttle, one of the throttles, into an auxiliary port and then programming it through your radio. So that is an option. That's a very cool option. It can add some very cool effects, such as flat turn spins, very, very nice flat spins. We're not going to talk about that too much, but it is an option. So talking about the extra add-ons, they offer an optional flaps and retracts. So if you want to add the flaps, I would highly recommend adding the extra flaps just because it's a very cheap add-on and all the hardware comes. The servos, I believe, are about $10 to $13 and you need 2 of them. It's not that bad, and you can do some pretty cool things with the flaps. The hardware is included with the Mosquito. You have your little tiny push rods. Your slots cut out for the servos are on the bottom of the wing, already cut out. The flap itself is pre-hinged and pre-95% cut. All you have to do is cut a little piece of foam and just let it fall free, and then you're completely fine. As far as the retracts, this one is completely up to you. The retracts are a little on the expensive side, but they will last a while, and they are a little versatile on different Parkzone airframes. So I would recommend them. In the box you have an add-on just for the, I guess you call them the retract doors. They're kind of dummy doors, but it allows the retract to fall inside. The ones on the bottom now are right now solid, just to keep dirt and keep the aerodynamics up, stuff like that. About this airplane, this is a very scale airplane. I'm going to post all of the specs down below in the video. I'll post a link to HorizonHobby, to both the plug-and-play and the BNF Basic for you guys to look at it. And all the specs will be down there as well. This is a very scale airplane. I've had a chance to fly it a couple of times, and it will do intermediate aerobatics. I was able to do a hammerhead with it. I did a couple spins. We'll show all that in the video. Basic rolls. The rolls are very slow, a little bit of inverted flight. The only thing I'm going to caution you at is this airplane is not really designed for aerobatic flight. So when you are doing aerobatics, if you choose to, be very cautious. Make sure that you are on key and you practice them up high first. The first time I went inverted, it was a little shaky, but once you get used to it, it does become fairly stable. That also has an effect with the center of gravity. The center of gravity, I did move back a little bit just so I could roll it, but I would recommend starting it as a forward CG. This plane loves a forward CG, and it slices through about 15 knot wind. I was very impressed with it. I was able to knife edge for a little bit. Again, you'll see that in the video. Other than that, I was very pleased with the airframe. I definitely would recommend it. It's worth the money, in my opinion. Just grab your battery, grab your transmitter, any DSM-2 or DSM-X transmitter, and you will be set. I would not recommend an orange RX if you decide to go with the plug-and-play. I would definitely pay the extra money and get a Spectrum AR610 or AR6000 if you have one laying around, or even larger like an AR7000 or AR7200. They're definitely worth it, and you can do some very cool things with it. Alright guys, that's about enough as out of the box. Let's go check out the flight video and show you guys what this thing can do.